Hi Reddit. I'm 39M. You ever look at someone and realize they threw away everything for absolutely nothing? That's what this story is about. My wife of 12 years, the life we built, the man she left me for, and how she ended up with exactly what she deserved. We'll start at the beginning, before I knew anything, when I still thought we were solid. We met in college, married by 25, 2 kids, a mortgage, a shared savings account, and a dog named Winston. You know, married life. She worked in marketing, mid-level agency. Nothing flashy, but she liked it. Office parties, team-building trips, after-work networking drinks. All that crap. I never questioned it. She always came home late. Fine. I worked construction. I'd be passed out by 10 p.m. anyway. She wanted weekends with the girls. Cool. I'd take the kids, go visit my brother. I trusted her. Fully. Big mistake. The crack started last year. She got distant. Nothing major at first. Just less affectionate, more irritable. I figured it was burnout. Maybe a rough patch at work. I asked her if everything was okay. She said, "I'm just tired. We've been doing the same thing for years. I feel like I'm fading." I said, "Let's go on a trip. Just us." She said no. I said, "Let's see a counselor." She said, "You can't fix this with therapy." Okay. Fast forward 2 months. She starts getting dressed up. I mean, really dressed up. New lingerie, new shoes, makeup at 7 a.m. to go to work. I joked about it once. "Damn, who you dressing up for?" She snapped. "Maybe for someone who notices." That was the first punch. Then came the second. One night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to pee. Walked past her office, door half open, laptop glowing. She was on a video call, laughing, flirting. I stood there. She didn't see me. Guy on the screen? Some corporate pretty boy in a button-down shirt, sipping wine. I didn't say anything. Just went back to bed. The next morning, I asked again, "Is there someone else?" She paused. "I don't know. Maybe. Maybe." She packed a bag and left that night. Said she needed space. Said she'd figure things out. She moved in with a friend, or so she claimed. But I was an idiot. She was staying with him. Overnight, she went from wife and mom to Instagram single girl boss. Bikini pics, brunch selfies, quotes like "sometimes letting go is self-love." All while I was taking care of 2 kids under 10, explaining why mommy doesn't live here anymore. I didn't fight her. I didn't beg. She wanted a new life? Go build it. But here's where it gets interesting. 6 months in, she calls me. Says she wants to talk. Says she misses the kids. Says she's not sure she made the right choice. I play dumb. "How's the new guy?" Long pause. "It's complicated. Turns out, Mr. Fancy Office Romance. Unemployed. Fired 3 weeks after she moved in with him. Turns out, he had a gambling problem. Debt. No real plan. No savings. Just vibes and vodka. She traded a mortgage, 2 healthy kids, and a man who would have taken a bullet for her. For a dude who played fantasy football all day and borrowed money from his mom. And Reddit? That wasn't even the worst part. Because what she asked me next, it made my blood boil. So yeah, after 6 months of radio silence, just school drop-offs and legal emails, she suddenly wanted to talk. She showed up looking like the same person, but hollowed out. Less makeup. No fake glow. That manic energy she had when she first left? Gone. She sat on the couch across from me, like it was still her home. Looked around like she missed the place. Then said the line that made me want to punch a wall. "I think I made a mistake. No S asterisk asterisk T." But I didn't say that. I let her talk. She said the guy, Eli, yeah, that was his name, like a damn Hallmark villain, turned out to be not who she thought. Lost his job, was borrowing money from her, started drinking more, got emotionally distant. Funny, right? The same stuff she said about me before she left. I asked one question. "Are you 2 still together?" She shook her head. "We broke up last month." Then she dropped the real bomb. "I don't want to fight anymore. I want to come home." I swear to God, Reddit, I laughed. Not fake, not petty, just full-on laughter. She looked offended. "What's so funny? You thought this was still an option?" She blinked. "This is our family." "No, you blew up our family." She started crying. Big crocodile tears. I was confused. I thought I wanted something different. I told her what I'd been holding in for 6 months. You wanted someone who didn't know the real you. You wanted a fantasy. You got it. and now you want to come back because reality hit too hard. And she tried to spin it. The kids need me. That part almost got me. Because she's right, they do miss her. They ask about her, but they're also learning to live without her. And I'm not dragging them through another round of her indecision. I asked her if she was ready to explain what happened to them, why she left, why she stayed gone. She said, "Can't we just start over? No apology, no ownership, just reset." That's when I realized she didn't come back for the kids. She came back because she lost her safety net. Eli dumped her. Her friends got tired of playing therapist. Her family started asking too many questions. She thought she could flip the script again. So I gave her one last truth. There's no reset button here. You walked out. You stayed gone. You don't get to walk back in because your plan B imploded. She stood up, wiped her face, and said, "You're really not going to let me come back?" I said, "You're not who I'm married anymore. And I sure as hell am not the same man who begged you to stay." She stormed out, slammed the door like she had a right to be angry. And later that night, she posted a story. Black screen. Text only. People change. People grow apart. But some people never change, and that's the real tragedy. Yeah, she was still playing the victim. But what she didn't know is that I was changing, and the next thing I did was make sure she couldn't come crawling back, even if she begged. So yeah, after 6 months of radio silence, just school drop-offs and legal emails, she suddenly wanted to talk. She showed up looking like the same person, but hollowed out. Less makeup, no fake glow. That manic energy she had when she first left, gone. She sat on the couch across from me, like it was still her home, looked around like she missed the place, then said the line that made me want to punch a wall. "I think I made a mistake." No shit, but I didn't say that. I let her talk. She said the guy, Eli, yeah, that was his name, like a damn Hallmark villain, turned out to be not who she thought. Lost his job, was borrowing money from her, started drinking more, got emotionally distant. Funny, right? The same stuff she said about me before she left. I asked one question. "Are you two still together?" She shook her head. "We broke up last month." Then she dropped the real bomb. "I don't want to fight anymore. I want to come home." I swear to God, Reddit, I laughed. Not fake, not petty, just full-on laughter. She looked offended. "What's so funny? You thought this was still an option?" She blinked. "This is our family." "No, you blew up our family." She started crying. Big crocodile tears. I was confused. I thought I wanted something different. I told her what I'd been holding in for 6 months. You wanted someone who didn't know the real you. You wanted a fantasy. You got it. And now you want to come back because reality hit too hard. And she tried to spin it. The kids need me. That part almost got me. Because she's right, they do miss her. They ask about her, but they're also learning to live without her. And I'm not dragging them through another round of her indecision. I asked her if she was ready to explain what happened to them, why she left, why she stayed gone. She said, "Can't we just start over? No apology, no ownership, just reset." That's when I realized she didn't come back for the kids. She came back because she lost her safety net. Eli dumped her. Her friends got tired of playing therapist. Her family started asking too many questions. She thought she could flip the script again. So I gave her one last truth. There's no reset button here. You walked out. You stayed gone. You don't get to walk back in because your plan B imploded. She stood up, wiped her face, and said, "You're really not going to let me come back?" I said, "You're not who I'm married anymore. And I sure as hell am not the same man who begged you to stay." She stormed out, slammed the door like she had a right to be angry. And later that night, she posted a story. Black screen. Text only. People change. People grow apart. But some people never change, and that's the real tragedy. Yeah, she was still playing the victim. But what she didn't know is that I was changing, and the next thing I did would make sure she couldn't come crawling back, even if she begged. After that little stunt, the tears, the guilt trip, though I want to come home, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I called my lawyer the next morning. We'd been sitting on the paperwork for months. She filed for separation, not divorce. Told the court she needed time to think. Meanwhile, she was out there playing house with her unemployed boy toy while still legally tied to me. I said, "Let's finalize it." He asked, "Are you sure?" I've never been more sure of anything in my life. So he pulled the trigger. filed for full divorce, full custody. She could have her visitation schedule, but I wasn't playing games anymore. I wasn't dragging this out. She made her choice. She can live with it. When she got the paperwork, she texted me. Wow, cold. No explanation. No apology. Just cold. I didn't even respond, because I was already focused on what came next, securing the house. She'd moved out voluntarily, but it was still marital property. I wasn't going to sit around waiting for her to try and snake her way back onto the title once her rebound crashed and burned. So I made moves. Refinanced the mortgage into my name. Paid off the old balance with a combination of savings and a small personal loan. My lawyer drafted a release of interest, basically a document saying she no longer had any claim to the house. We served it with a divorce packet. That's when she blew up. "You're trying to take everything from me." No, I was taking back what was already mine. The life she abandoned, the stability she threw away, the home she left behind when she thought she could do better. But she wasn't done. She showed up at the house again, this time angry. Accused me of turning the kids against her. Said I was destroying their image of their mother. You know what I said? "I haven't said a single bad word about you to them, but you're doing a damn good job ruining your own image." She lost it. Started yelling about how Eli manipulated her, how he made promises, how she thought he was serious. Like I was supposed to feel sorry for her now that the fairy tale blew up in her face. I told her the truth. You didn't cheat because you were unhappy. You cheated because you're selfish. You wanted excitement without consequence. You wanted someone new without letting go of the old. She slapped me. Not hard, but enough to remind me that this woman, the one I once trusted with everything, didn't exist anymore. She left. I called my lawyer again. Logged it. Not because I wanted revenge. Because I was done leaving openings. That same week, I changed the locks, updated the alarm code, and installed cameras. Not for protection, for closure. She wasn't just out of my bed. She was out of my life. And every step I took felt like peeling off layers of dead skin. The best part? The kids were adjusting. No more quiet dinner tables. No more watching them stare at the door wondering if mom was coming back. They were laughing again. Sleeping better. Opening up. My son said something to me one night that gutted me and lifted me all at once. I don't miss when she was here. I just miss when things were real. And that's when I knew I hadn't lost a wife. I'd lost an illusion. And the real healing was just getting started. So the divorce papers were in, the house was locked down, and for the first time in over a year, I felt like I could breathe without checking over my shoulder. But she wasn't done. Of course not. You think people like that just walk away quietly after they lose? Nah. 3 weeks after I filed, she tried to hit me with a spousal support claim. Yep, the same woman who packed her bag to chase an unemployed office clown who couldn't hold down a job, now wanted me to pay her monthly to maintain her standard of living. Her standard of living? You mean the one I held together for 12 years while you were playing Boss Babe and taking selfies at brunch while I patched drywall and got sunburned 10 hours a day? Get the fuck out of here. My lawyer called me, already laughing. This is laughable, but we still need to handle it seriously. And we did. We pulled income records, text message logs, Instagram timestamps, everything to prove she wasn't just unstable, but outright irresponsible with a lifestyle she supposedly needed support for. It was all there. Posts from when she was partying while the kids were sick. DMs where she bragged to friends about finally living for herself. One message where she called me a predictable fallback if shit goes south. Yeah, that one made it into the response filing. And then came court. Not the final hearing, just the preliminary support motion. She sat there, all buttoned up and sad, like the last year of reckless behavior had never happened. Like she hadn't ghosted her kids for 3 months after Eli dumped her. Like she hadn't tried to snake the house out from under me and play single mom of the year to her Instagram followers. But the judge? He saw right through it. He asked one question. Why did you leave the marriage? She hesitated. Said something about needing emotional fulfillment. The judge followed up. And during this time, were you financially dependent on your husband? She said no. Then my lawyer hit her with the emails. The timestamps. The Venmo logs from Eli to her. Then her sending cash to cover his rent. It wasn't emotional exploration. It was a full-blown, self-funded disaster with receipts. Judge looked at her and said, "I see no grounds for temporary spousal support. We'll revisit this at final division if necessary, but right now, you're on your own." Boom. She didn't even look at me, just gathered her purse and walked out of the courtroom like the victim in a drama and no one was watching. And you'd think after that, she'd go quiet again, but she didn't. Next day, she posted some empowerment quote about being punished for choosing herself. The comments? Split. Some people clapped like trained seals. Others, people who actually knew the story, started dropping real comments. Didn't you cheat on your husband? Didn't you leave your kids for a coworker? Girl, self-love doesn't mean self-sabotage. She deleted half of them, then deactivated. She couldn't handle it. She could manipulate court filings and twist reality for her little circle of yes people. But when strangers started holding a mirror up, she ran. Meanwhile, I was still standing, still raising 2 kids, still paying the bills, still going to work, still showing up. Because while she was out chasing the high of being wanted, I'd built something worth keeping. And now, I was ready to burn what was left of her fake narrative to the ground. After the court denied her spousal support request, I expected her to retreat quietly. She didn't. She showed up at the kids' school. No warning, no text. Just walked in and tried to check them out early for some time together. Thankfully, the front desk called me immediately. We'd already filed paperwork with the school listing custody status. She had limited visitation and absolutely zero authority to remove them without my permission. I got there in 10 minutes flat. She was standing in the lobby, arms crossed, trying to convince the secretary she had a right to her own children. I walked in and didn't even look at her. Went straight to the desk and said, "This has already been settled legally." She said, "You're making me look like the bad guy. I didn't even raise my voice. You did that all by yourself." She tried to follow me out the door, kept saying, "Let's just talk. The kids need both of us." I stopped halfway through the parking lot. "No, the kids need stability. You had your shot at that, and you threw it away for Eli and your little fantasy world." That hit her. She froze, like she didn't expect me to say his name, like maybe she was still pretending none of it actually happened. I loaded the kids in the car, waved at the school staff who were watching all this unfold like it was a damn soap opera, and drove off. Later that night, she texted me, "I miss them. You tried to erase me from their lives." I replied with one line, "Be the kind of mother they can miss without resenting." She didn't answer, but she did something else. She sent her mom after me, a full-blown ambush at my front door. I opened it, and there she was, woman I hadn't seen since the day her daughter moved out. She didn't say hi. She said, "She's broken, and this bitterness isn't helping anyone." I told her I wasn't bitter. I was done. Told her I wasn't playing middleman for her daughter's guilt anymore. Told her I wouldn't let someone who abandoned her family waltz back in because real life turned out harder than her daydreams. And her mom, the same woman who raised her to think she could do no wrong, actually had the nerve to say, "You're not making this easy for reconciliation." I looked her dead in the eye. There is no reconciliation. Then I shut the door. That same night, I got an email from my ex. Not a message, not a phone call, a damn email. Subject, "We need to revisit custody." She claimed the kids were acting distant, that she was concerned about their emotional health, that I was deliberately alienating them. Alienating? You mean feeding them dinner, helping them with homework, showing up to their games, being present? While she played Instagram therapist and reposted breakup quotes like a teenage girl. That's when I realized she was spiraling. The moment she couldn't control the narrative, she started trying to manufacture one. So I did what I always do. I sent it all to my lawyer. The email, the school incident, the texts, the voicemail from her mom's ambush. And we filed a motion for limited contact until the divorce was finalized. Not to punish her, to protect my kids. From the chaos, from the manipulation, from watching their mother twist every knife she ever planted. And the court granted it. Now all contact had to go through me or through supervised visits. And Reddit? That's when she snapped. The next move she made wasn't just pathetic. It was desperate and illegal. After the court granted my motion to restrict contact, things were quiet for exactly 5 days. Then I came home from work one night, and the back door was unlocked. Now, I'm meticulous. Keys go on the hook. Alarms set. Deadbolt always on. The kids were my brothers that weekend, so it wasn't them. I walked in slow. Everything looked untouched, except the kitchen. Cupboard open. One mug moved. No forced entry. Nothing broken. But I knew. She'd been there. I checked the cameras, the ones I installed after she slapped me during that argument in the driveway. Sure enough, 2:14 p.m. Broad daylight. There she was, using her old key. Walked in like she still lived there. Stood in the living room for 5 minutes. Sat down on the couch. Looked around. Walked into the kitchen. Poured herself a glass of water. Stared at our family photo. Then left. I felt like my skin was crawling. She didn't break anything. She didn't steal. She didn't even say a word. But it was worse than if she had. This was her saying, I can still get in. I still exist here. So I called my lawyer. She used her old key. You changed the locks, right? Yes. Front and garage. But I forgot the back door key she used to hide. My lawyer didn't even pause. We're filing for a restraining order. Now. And we did. Filed under unauthorized entry, violation of court-imposed contact limits, and psychological intimidation. The kicker? She had the audacity to act offended when the sheriff served her. Started texting me, rapid fire. I wasn't trying to scare you. I just wanted to see the house. It's still my home too, you know. I wasn't dangerous. You're turning this into something ugly. And finally, I thought maybe we could talk. I thought maybe you missed me. That last one made my stomach turn. Because it was clear now, she wasn't trying to make peace. She wasn't trying to see the kids. She was trying to rewrite history, to force her way back into the life she chose to blow up. And when I didn't respond, she posted again. Imagine being so bitter that you treat someone like a criminal for missing their own family. She was playing to her audience again. The same people who didn't know she left us for a guy who got fired and asked her for gas money 2 weeks later. But here's where it got real. She came back again, 3 days after being served. Same time of day, same camera, same slow entrance, except this time, she used the patio door and left a note on the fridge. No words, just a photo. An old one. Us at the beach. Me holding the kids. Her in sunglasses, arms around me like we were still something. That was it. She was taunting me. So I called the police. Straight up. Filed the full report. Provided the footage. Pressed charges for violating the order. And they took it seriously. Trespassing, harassment, breach of court protection. All of it stacked. That was the last time she stepped foot in the house. The judge didn't even need a hearing. Extended the restraining order to 1 full year. Any future contact will be grounds for arrest. And just like that, she was officially cut out. No more unannounced visits. No more emotional games. No more lurking around the edge of the life she destroyed. But guess what? She still had one last card to play. And this one would target the kids directly. I thought I'd seen the worst of her. The cheating, the lies, the entitlement, the break-in. But nothing prepared me for what came next. Because once she realized she couldn't control me anymore, she turned to the only thing she had left. The kids. And not in the I miss them way. Not in the I'm ready to fix this way. No, this was calculated. Surgical. It started with my youngest. She called from her school iPad. The school allows limited FaceTime between students and pre-approved contacts. I hadn't blocked her there. I probably should have. She used it. Called during school hours. Told my daughter she missed being her mommy. Said she was so sorry daddy won't let me see you. My daughter came home in tears. Why don't you want mommy to see us? I froze. I sat her down and told her as gently as I could. I'm not keeping her away. I'm keeping you safe. There's a difference. But how do you explain emotional manipulation to a 7-year-old? You don't. You protect. You reinforce. You hug tighter. You hold the line. But it got worse. 2 days later, she called our son. He's 10, smarter than most adults I know. She told him, your dad is lying to you. I'm not the bad guy. He recorded the call. Sent it to me. I didn't know what to say, Dad. I just let her talk. That night, I forwarded the recording to my lawyer. He filed for a modification to her visitation rights. Even tighter restrictions. No unsupervised access. No contact through school devices. Nothing. And we got it. But guess what? She still didn't stop. She tried to go through the kids' friends, sent gifts to 2 of their classmates' houses, coloring books, small toys, a letter from mommy. The letter? Full of guilt tactics. I hope you haven't forgotten me. I still have your favorite blanket. I think about you every night. Maybe one day your daddy will forgive me and we can be a family again. I damn near exploded when I read it. That was the moment I realized she wasn't trying to parent. She was trying to plant seeds, to turn them against me, to play the long game. So I drove straight to her lawyer's office. Didn't say a word, just dropped off copies of the letter, the recording, and a full written statement from the parents of the kids she'd contacted. Next day, her lawyer called mine, said, "We were unaware of her actions. She will cease all direct or indirect contact immediately. If not, we'll withdraw as counsel." Even her own legal team was done with her shit. We filed to update the custody order again, this time to terminate visitation entirely until she completed a court-approved psychological evaluation and parenting course. The court scheduled a hearing. She didn't show up, didn't even send a representative. It was over. The judge ruled in my favor. Full custody, no contact, future access subject to psychiatric clearance and family court reapproval. She lost everything, but the damage still lingered. Because my daughter didn't sleep for a week. My son kept asking, "Is she ever coming back?" Like he wasn't sure if that was a good or bad thing. And me? I started therapy, not because I was falling apart, but because I refused to carry her chaos any further into my life or theirs. She made her choices. Now she can live with them. And just when I thought the dust was finally settling, I got a message from Eli. So yeah, Eli messaged me. The same Eli she left me for. The same Eli who helped her blow up 12 years of marriage like it was a fun little office scandal. The same Eli who got her fired, dumped, and spiraling like a teenager cut off from Wi-Fi. He sent a DM on Instagram, like we're fucking friends. "Hey man, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I think we should talk." I stared at the screen for a solid minute. Then I laughed. Not because it was funny, because the audacity was unbelievable. You helped destroy a family, then hit up the guy whose life you helped wreck for a chat? I didn't answer. Let's sit. He followed up 2 days later. I just want to clear the air. I was lied to too. I didn't know what was really going on until it was too late. Oh, you were lied to? You mean the part where she told you I was cold and distant, and you thought that gave you a free pass to sleep with a married woman with 2 kids? Or the part where you moved in with her a week after she left and let her pay your bills while you rebranded yourself as a creative consultant on LinkedIn? Yeah, poor Eli. Still, I sent it to my lawyer, just in case. Always paper trail everything. Then curiosity got the best of me. I replied, "You've got 2 minutes. Say what you need to say." He responded like he'd been waiting months. Paragraphs. Told me he didn't think it would go that far. That she told him we were practically separated. That he caught feelings but never expected her to leave me. Said she became obsessed with tearing me down after I wouldn't take her back. Said he tried to end things, but she kept showing up. Sleeping on his couch. Crying. Saying she was being punished. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wrote back. You did. But I'm not mad anymore. You were just a weapon. She was the one who pulled the trigger. No reply after that. And honestly, I think that shook him more than if I cursed him out. Because people like that expect rage. They expect drama. They expect to be relevant. But when they're met with calm, they realize they lost something bigger than the game they were playing. Still, the damage he helped cause? Not something I'm just brushing off. So I did something important. I sat down with my kids. Told them the full story. In simple words. No slander. Just truth. I said, your mom made some choices that hurt all of us. The man she was with didn't respect our family. And I forgave them, because carrying hate doesn't help anyone. But that doesn't mean what they did was okay. My son asked, "Are you mad at him?" I was. But now, I just don't care. He nodded. I don't either. And that was it. No more hiding the past. No more pretending it didn't happen. The final clean cut. But you know what hit the hardest? My daughter, who hasn't spoken much about her mom in weeks, came up to me before bed and said, "I like our house better now. It's quiet, and you always stay." That was all I needed to hear. Because no matter what Jenna did, no matter what Eli says, no matter what happens next. We're okay now. And yeah, I thought that was the end. But then I got an email from her. Subject, one last request. And you already know, she wasn't done. So yeah, email from her. Subject line, one last request. I opened it. Not because I cared what she had to say, but because part of me needed to see how far she was still willing to go. It wasn't long. I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but I'd really appreciate if we could meet one time for closure. No drama, just a conversation. You deserve honesty, and so do I. Closure? What the hell does she think the last year was? The silence? The court dates? The restraining orders? The therapy bills? The custody hearings? Was that not enough of a closing statement? Still, I didn't answer right away. I sat with it, not because I was considering it, but because I wanted to make sure whatever I said next would leave no room for interpretation. 2 days later, I replied, you don't want closure. You want forgiveness without accountability. And you want to rewrite your story with me as a co-author. I won't give you that. You made your choices. Now live with them. No response. Silence. Then she broke it the only way she knows how. Indirectly. Posted on social media again. New profile. New bio. Same tone. Sometimes the people who say they've healed are just better at hiding their bitterness. One of her followers tagged her and commented, proud of you for staying soft. Soft? This woman tried to re-enter my house without permission, violated court orders, manipulated our kids, and played victim while destroying her own life. But yeah, so soft. I screenshotted it, archived it, and moved on. I didn't even show the kids. They were done with the drama. My daughter started art class. My son joined a local soccer team. Our house. Peaceful. No fake apologies. No late-night guilt trips. But then something happened I didn't see coming. My son got invited to a school family day. They were supposed to bring a parent or guardian. Of course, he picked me. We planned it. Got new shoes. Talked about his school project. The night before, she messaged him directly. He showed me. I saw the flyer. I'd love to come. Can I be your guest? I asked him what he wanted. He said, I don't want her there. I don't trust her not to ruin it. And I realized this wasn't just my healing story. It was his too. So I messaged her one last time. Do not contact the kids. Do not show up to their school. You've had more chances than anyone deserved. Don't push it. She read it. No reply. But she didn't show. The event went off perfect. My son crushed it. His teacher came up after and said, you must be really proud of him. I said, I'm proud of both of us. Because the truth is, we got here without her. Not because of her. She wanted one more chance. One more talk. One more moment to make it about her. But she missed something huge. Closure doesn't come from conversations. It comes from boundaries. And I already had mine. It's been 6 months since that last message. Since I told her to back off. Since I closed the door for good. Since my son looked at me and said, I don't want her there. And you know what? Everything's different now. Not perfect. Not some Hollywood ending. But solid. I wake up without that pit in my chest. I go to work, come home, cook dinner with my kids, laugh at dumb cartoons, help with math homework I barely understand, and I do it without that shadow of chaos waiting to crash back through the front door. The divorce is finalized. Custody is settled. Restraining order still in place. She hasn't violated it again. Maybe she finally got the message. Or maybe she's just found some new target for her attention. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because for the first time in years, I'm not checking my phone for her name. I'm not holding my breath every time there's a knock on the door. I'm not scanning crowds wondering if she's going to show up somewhere she's not wanted. I'm free. I started dating again. Slowly, carefully, not to replace her, but to remember who I am when I'm not constantly walking on eggshells. When I'm not trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. My kids? They're thriving. My daughter told me the other day that she doesn't miss mommy's loud moods. My son hasn't asked about her in weeks. They both sleep better, eat better, smile more. That says everything. We built something from scratch after she walked away, and it's better than anything she ever pretended to want. She hasn't sent another one last message. No surprise visits. No legal tricks. Her silence used to scare me. Now it feels like peace. But I still keep the receipts. Every text. Every email. Every voicemail. Not because I want revenge, Because I've learned what happens when you let someone like her rewrite the story. And that's why I wrote this. Because if someone out there is sitting on the edge of their life, wondering how it got so damn twisted, wondering if they're crazy or if they're just the only one telling the truth, they need to hear this. You're not crazy. They're just really good at lying. She didn't leave because I was a bad husband. She left because she thought there was something better on the other side of betrayal. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. She ended up with nothing. Not the man she wanted. Not the fantasy she chased. Not the family she thought she could lose and pick back up when it suited her. Just an empty apartment and a pile of bad decisions she'll probably never own up to. And me? I didn't just survive. I came out cleaner, stronger, wiser, and more dangerous because now I see bullshit from a mile away. So this is the end of her story and the beginning of mine.